to episode 5, everyone, of the Film Room. Today I got just one member, so it'll be a pretty small episode. We got Malik here. Malik, what's up, my guy?
How's it going, bro? How's it going?
Pretty good. So this week we got our nominees for the 2025 Oscars, and there were some plenty of snubs, shockers, surprises, and and here we go. Let's start off. We got first actor in a leading role. We got Adrian Brody from The Brutalist, which actually won a lot of Golden Globes this year. Timothy Chalamet for Bob Dylan, and a complete unknown Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, who's actually a serious candidate to who's going to replace Kang in Marvel. We got Ralph Fiennes from Conclave, and we got Sebastian Stan, who plays Bucky in Marvel, for Donald Trump in The Apprentice. Give me your thoughts on this short list and who you think should win actor in leading role, real quick.
I am not going to lie to you. I would have to go for Timothy Chalamet, but between him, he'd be my first pick, and maybe Sebastian Stan for my second one, because I've seen like the variety of the different movies that he's in. I remember Dune was my personal favorite. I'm not gonna lie to you, and The Complete Unknown. I've seen half of it. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen half of it, but it was still very nice. Like watching these movies, I'm like I could never.
Watching again the Brutalist getting so many Golden Globe awards, I do think Adrian Brody needs to give all the other cast, all the other film nominees a good break, and he needs to, if he gets this award, he should pass this award to Timothy Chalamet. While I think Sebastian Stan should is a good candidate for this award as Donald Trump, knowing knowing this earth, knowing this country, knowing how divided everyone was for this election, just to be safe for their own sake, I do think Timothy should get this award for A Complete Unknown. Now, while I did see a lot of clips, I did see multiple trailers for A Complete Unknown. I didn't really see the movie itself yet, but I know what it's about. I know who's in it, and this is a movie still that I plan to watch. And even without watching this movie in a whole, I do think Timothy will finally win his Oscar award because he's been nominated so many times in the past and he's lost all those nominations. So I
I
do think
feel like he
Timothy
deserves.
he's due for a win, and I think him as Bob Dylan solidified that.
Yeah, and also honestly, like I said, like I haven't seen much of the movie, but I've seen like a whole bunch of clips and live streams on TikTok, which
Hmm.
maybe spoiled it for myself, but um like honestly, him as Bob Dylan, like and honestly, I didn't know like I never really knew the upbringing of Bob Dylan. Like I was familiar with a
Hmm.
couple of his songs, like I believe "End of the Line" was one of them, "Blowing in the Wind" was another,
Yep.
and like just seeing like a biopic like lately lately in the past few years we've been getting a lot of biopics lately,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie, although it's not necessarily in the topic, but my most excited one, the one I'm most excited for, has to be the Michael Jackson one. Has to be the
Yes.
Michael Jackson one.
And I'm really glad you brought that up because I'm not gonna brag, but when I was again in Las Vegas last year for the CinemaCon, where I plan to go to again this year, the audience in that room were the only people who saw the first ever trailer for Michael Jackson. So I was
Mm.
part of that room, and that trailer makes you want to dance. Okay,
I,
and
I haven't even seen the trailer. It
I
hasn't
know
come
that.
out yet, no?
I know
Okay.
that. It didn't come out yet.
Wow.
Only the audience in that room saw the trailer. His makeup looked fantastic. His choreography matches Michael Jackson, and the music will make it like Taylor Swift concert movie. You know that Taylor Swift movie concert. This MJ has that potential. This movie, and the trailer to dancing, this movie will be incredible. And it was delayed. It comes out now later this year instead of more of the spring or summer. So
Okay.
yes, that one I can't wait for. But anyways, actor in leading role, I am choosing Timothy Chalamet to get his first award. Well, I'm not. I don't know if it's his first, but I believe he will get the Oscar for A Complete Unknown. That's my pick. And who do you pick again? To pick to win actor in the role,
I'd say Timothy Chalamet.
also Timothy.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet.
Right.
If anything, Sebastian Stan in second.
And I would not be surprised if again Adrian Brody won this for Brutalist because, like I mentioned, that movie almost sweeps itself at the Golden Globes.
Right.
Now, actor supporting role, we got Yura Borisov from Anora. I believe it was like a thriller or a horror movie. We have Kieran Culkin from A Real Pain. We have Edward Norton, who plays the Incredible Hulk in a complete unknown. Guy Pearce from The Brutalist, again another nominee for the movie, and Jeremy Strong from The Apprentice. So we have again a complete unknown, The Brutalist, and The Apprentice all have nominees in this actor and supporting role. And I know I said Timothy Chalamet for a complete unknown, but I do think Edward Norton. I think a complete unknown will shock the audience on the amount of awards it can win. So I do think Edward Norton should win for a complete unknown because his acting, his range, and I know he did an amazing job in this movie, just like Timothy did.
My choice. I am not gonna lie. I would have to choose Yuri. I believe there's a Y in his name for Borisov for Nora. I
Hmm.
believe in the Y is in the end of his name. Him playing Igor in the movie. I would choose him. I'm not gonna lie, because although who you mentioned, you choose Edward Norton, correct?
Hmm.
Yes. Although we have seen like a lot more of him, I believe that this one has potential. Like Honora was such, it was an amazing movie, very interesting. I'd say very interesting
All right,
because
I'll take your word for it. I think I'll see it
yeah,
very
it
soon myself.
was it was I believe it was that movie where she like wanted to run off and get married to basically the first person she saw in that kind of sense. And it was, you know, a lot of all I have you seen the movie?
Honora?
Yes.
Not yet, because I'm not into like horror thrillers, but I've heard some very great things about this movie, so I will definitely see it as soon as I can. Definitely.
I'd say yeah, it's very interesting, and my best scenario, like the way I watched it, it's just like you see things happen and it's like, okay, no, that couldn't be me, but you be safe
Gotcha.
though. You know
Gotcha.
what I mean?
And here's what they could be a sleeper, and it's not Sebastian Stan this time. It's another fellow cast member in The Apprentice. I do think Jeremy Strong has a very good case to be a sleeper because The Apprentice also I heard did very good. So my pick is Edward Norton from A Complete Unknown. Yours is from Anora, your Borisov. But I could see Jeremy Strong as a sleeper for this pick. That's just my opinion.
Jeremy, I'm not gonna lie, that name was he in like the
He sound,
gentleman, I think.
he sounds very familiar to me as well. Before this pod, I had to look up his name. I thought Jeremy Strong was a different sort of character from Captain America: Civil War, but that was definitely not the case. But his name definitely
Mm,
sounds familiar, but I forgot what recent films he was in.
yeah,
Unfortunately.
he's okay. Let me see. I just looked it up on a fresh tab. I
Mhm.
believe he was in the Abraham Lincoln movie from 2012.
Ah, yeah, 2012
That
years
might
ago, man. I got a memory.
years ago. Yeah, that might have been where I recognized him. Yeah, it might have been where.
All right. All right, so my solidified choice for an actor in a supporting role, I am picking Edward Norton. You are picking from an Anoa Yor Borisov, correct?
Yes.
All right, let's move on. We have actress in a leading role, Cynthia Erivo, who did an amazing job in Wicked. We have Carla Sofia Gascon from Emily Perez, and by the way, Emily Perez, 13 Oscar nominations, the most in the Oscars this year, which is crazy for a non-English movie. Also, we have
Yes.
Mikey Madison from Anora. We have Demi Moore from the Substance, who I believe, the movie I believe also did a surprisingly good job. And Demi Moore is a first-time Oscar-nominated actress as well. And we have Fernanda Torres, who's also a first-time Oscar-nominated actress for I'm Still Here. My pick, and I better hear you say the same thing for your side. I have
I
to
feel like
put
we might go on the same side on this one. I
my
would choose Wicked. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean this is no insult to all other incredible nominees, but Cynthia Erivo blew my mind in
Yeah,
Wicked. I didn't expect this movie to be as amazing as it was. The music, her vocals, and her support system in real life. I love it, and I do think Cynthia Erivo will or should win the Best Actress in the Oscars with honestly Demi Moore from The Substance or Carla from Emily Perez, they're sleepers. I mean, don't be shocked if Carla wins it because I guess again, Emily Perez has the most Oscar nominations, but Carla could be a sleeper. But I think Cynthia Erivo should win this one.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know she was actually a singer. Well, I didn't really guess because I remember her seeing one of her other films. This was years ago in a school field trip, freshman year of high school, I believe. No, I lied. I lied. It was either sophomore or junior year. But it was a movie that she played in, the Harriet Tubman movie. I don't know if you remember.
Sounds very familiar.
Yeah, she played Harriet Tubman like years ago, and seeing her come back,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
I remember it.
and
Yeah.
coming back from a new role, and I
Mhm.
know they made multiple adaptations of
Mhm.
the Wizard of Oz series, and
Yeah.
I personally haven't seen the Wizard of Oz, not the OG ones, not the ones from I believe 2016 with Mila Kunis. I think it was 2016, but Mila Kunis and haven't seen those. The only ones I'm familiar with is Wicked, and only because of my sister. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Oh my god! So if it wasn't for her, you would not have seen the movie.
not at all,
Well,
not at all.
well, honestly, on my side, I saw it because I promised a friend, but I saw it twice. Once in IMAX, which was a whole different experience, and another time in a regular theater, which was a waste of money because in a regular theater, the audio is so different.
Really?
Yes, I
Yeah,
mean
that
different
makes
in
sense. Yeah.
a glow down way. IMAX only because her voice and the visuals, man, amazing. All right, so my pick is I think our pick. We both agree should be Cynthia Erivo, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. Now actress in a supporting role. We have Monica Barbaro, who played also in Top Gun for A Complete Unknown. We have Ariana Grande also for Wicked. We have another The Brutalist nominee in Felicia Jones. We have a Conclave, Isabella Rossellini, and we have another Emily Perez, Zoe Saldana from Avatar or Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not gonna lie myself. I can see Zoe Saldana winning this one with Ariana Grande being a close second because we know Ariana as a yes as an actor but also as a very heavy artist with music. I don't really know her much in movies other than Victorious or that like Nickelodeon era. So Ariana Grande could be a sleeper, but I do think Zoe Saldana could win this one, in my opinion.
I'm not gonna lie. For me, my answer might be a little biased, because me personally, Zoe Saldana is a great actress. Um, I loved seeing her, and she was in Avatar, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, she was in Avatar, and also playing Gamora as well. And there was another
Mhm.
movie from like years ago. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It was my mom put me onto this movie like growing up. It was called Columbiana. It came out, I think,
I've
like
heard of it.
2011. It was like a little girl who basically grew up to be an assassin.
Like Black Widow, right?
Um, yeah, I guess, yeah. But she was really great in those movies. So, like from her experience, the reason why I'm mentioning that is because I personally have not seen Amelia Perez. I've not seen it.
Yeah,
So
me
I would
neither.
personally choose Ariana Grande in this one. Also, like you mentioned, like there was multiple things. Like I've seen her grow up and like not her, like me
Right.
growing up and like her being a musical artist. And
Mm-hmm.
personally, I've seen her start off in like Victorious. She was in
Yeah.
Victorious, Salmon Cat. I don't really
Yes.
talk about that much, not gonna lie. And she was in this movie, this one Nickelodeon movie called Swindle, which I
Yes.
personally was one of my favorite Nickelodeon movies
I've
growing up.
yes. Oh my
I'm
God.
not gonna lie, that was definitely a sleeper.
All
But
right. Yeah.
yeah, but I would choose Ariana Grande for that. Like I said, my answer might be a little biased,
It's
but
fine. It's your
yeah,
answer.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's because, but of course, I wouldn't be mad if Zoe Saldana, of course, took the got the
You know,
Oscar.
I didn't realize. I did not realize Zoe Saldana. Her name was Saldana. 'Cause I didn't realize the
Yeah,
little
the
line on
accent.
top of the
Yeah.
end. I always call her Zoe Saldana, and I still will. That dot on the end doesn't change a thing for me, but I do think she won her first Golden Globes for Emily Perez, so I wouldn't be surprised if she won her first Oscar for the same reason. So that's my pick, with Ariana Grande as a close second. Next up is actually a tougher category: Best Animated Feature Film. We got Flow. The nominees still to be determined, but that's actually, I've heard on Twitter that Flow is voted as one of the best animated movies of the year. Inside Out 2, which I saw and I loved it. We have the Memoir of a Snail. We have Wallace and Gromit, which is actually, in my opinion, and I might get some heat for this, Wallace and Gromit, for the audience, I think is overrated. I was never a fan of that kind of animation, only when I was a little kid, but Wallace and Gromit, in my opinion, is slightly overrated, but I can see the love in that movie. And The Wild Robot, which I saw actually about 2 weeks ago on my computer, and the music, the story, everything about the wild robot. It's emotional, and I absolutely loved it. This will be, to me, a close tie between Inside Out 2 and the wild robot, but I could see for some reason Flow winning. No, not Flow. I'm sorry, Wallace and Gromit. I could see, just to piss me off. I could see Wallace and Gromit winning this award, but I do think it should be either Inside Out 2 or the Wild Robot.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't really defend Wallace and Gromit like that because, however, I know for a fact I've watched those movies because there are multiple movies, I believe. But the thing is, I have no memory of it. I have no memory. I just, at least, I don't have a memory of what it's about. I just can just tell you for a fact that I've seen those movies growing up, and
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it at least because
You
it
think?
was kind of those claymation style movies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up, I've always watched those kind of
Yeah.
movies, especially during Christmas with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer
Oh
every
my
morning.
God. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember it coming on ABC every single morning. It was a vibe.
Oh my
And
God.
but for animated, like this is my opinion. I would personally go for Inside Out too. Great
Yep.
movie. I loved.
Understandable.
Yeah, I loved seeing that how Riley grew up and started to deal with like the teenage
Yeah.
age, like well preteen or she was 13.
She was definitely in high school. That's all I'll say.
She was in high school. Oh
Definitely.
yeah, yeah, no, no. She
Yeah.
was going to high school. Yeah, so
Going. Yeah. You're right.
uh, it was definitely interesting to see how they ended off in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
How they kind of like brushed it off, like the puberty thing,
Yeah.
puberty play in the first movie, to how
Mm-hmm.
they translated it years later in the second movie when I think she
Yeah.
did turn 13. Um, and how it shows you a visualization of what a lot of people actually go through when it comes to like anxiety
Right.
and things of that nature.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
This movie hit me hard for that
yeah,
reason too.
it was very,
Yeah.
and then one of my favorite things is how Joy just told her to like let go when she was like planning for the future. Because the thing
Yeah.
is, it seemed good at first. It seemed like she was doing the right thing at first, but she was spending so much time to the future that she wasn't
Mm-hmm.
even saying what she had right then and there. You
And
know
let
what
me
I
tell
mean?
you, I do the same thing. So this movie relates to me in so many personal ways, which is why I think this should win. I think Inside Out 2 should win this Oscar, with The Wild Robot a close second. All right, who do you pick to win this category for best animated feature?
I gotta go for Inside
In,
Out too.
inside
I
to so
gotta
we
go.
both agree in this one.
I have heard some great things about the Wild Robot. I will not lie.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to go with you to actually see the movie, but
Yep, I know
I
that.
couldn't go that time. Yeah, I couldn't go. I didn't get a chance to see it. I didn't get a chance to see it. I don't know if
We'll
it's out
hopefully, hopefully we get a chance to watch the Oscars
for
this
sure.
year.
For sure.
All right, best animated short film. This is actually a list of nominees that I fortunately have not seen any of these. We have Beautiful Men, we have In the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candies, Wonder to Wonder, and Yuki or Yoki. All these names to me don't sound like something I have seen before, so I'm gonna just pick one name who I think will win, and as random, I'm gonna pick Magic Candies because it's a pretty cool name. I've not seen any of these films, but that's the pick who I think could win. Magic Candies.
I'm not gonna lie. I've uh, I don't think it's Yuki. I think it's Yuck, and that's an exclamation
Oh,
point.
are you for real? Yep,
Yeah,
I think
that
you're
might
right.
be. It might
I
be
think
Yuck,
well,
and
that name is
I've
Yuck.
I've
So
heard of it before. I think it's I think it's like a French animated film. I can't. I'm not entirely sure. I could be wrong on this.
that's interesting.
Yeah, you can look. It might be a French animated film. It's like 10 minutes long. I think. I don't know. I've heard of it before. Never seen it. I saw something on it on TikTok like a little minute ago, like
Hmm.
a bit ago. You know what I mean? And but
So
like I said, I've
so
never seen it, but I can't really go off that list. But maybe if I were to just randomly pick one, maybe Yuck.
because the name for it, because the name, right?
Maybe yeah.
The name to me sounds Yuck too. But let's move on. I do pick Magic Candies for whatever reason, but that's no insult to these anime short films. I'm sure they're all great, but I'm not one for short films, especially if they're animated.
I'm not
All
gonna lie. Time
right.
out. Let's pause on the short films for a second. I will say, short films back then were unmatched. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
There's
I
so
remember
much to
watching some
go for.
short
There was
films.
one with you remember the guy in the train station where it was like that paper. It was some paper that like flew around to like another girl
I
or
don't know,
something
but
like that. I
I
can't
don't
remember
know.
it.
Let's
And there
start
was
to
the
move.
lava one.
I have no idea, but in the sake of
Really,
time,
my goodness. Okay.
all right. Well, for the sake of the time, let's move on to best cinematography. We have again the Brutalist. We have Dune Part Two, which should easily, I think, win this, but Emilia Perez might give it a run for its money. We have Maria, and we have Nosferatu. In my opinion, Dune Part Two. I think everyone knows that film for its directing and for its cinematography. Maybe sound too, but I'm picking Dune Part Two solely for its cinematography because that movie is unmatched when it comes to this category.
I'm not gonna lie. I might have to disagree with you on that one.
I'm gonna log out right now.
I might have to disagree with you on that one. And honestly, there's no way for you to see this because, you know, I would have to choose Nosferatu. Even though it's horror, it
Okay.
came out Christmas Day.
Yeah, yeah.
It was top tier. Movie
I,
was
I
top
believe
tier.
you, but I'm not. I hate horror films, especially if it's jump scares. And I heard that's fraud to as jump scares. And
No, it was a lot
I,
of jump
I
scares.
saw I saw like a picture from the movie of um Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu,
Hmm.
and they didn't look as creepy as I thought
Well,
it would
Count
look.
Orlok, I think was his name or something.
Yes, yes, but he didn't look as creepy as I thought he would, which was kind of disappointing. But I know it's gory, it's definitely rated R, and still, rated R doesn't stop me. Obviously, horror. I mean, for example, Trap. That's a horror movie, but it's more of a thriller. So if there's
Trap is a
no,
horror movie?
yes, apparently it's a horror
Really?
movie.
I didn't know that.
It's a horror thriller. Yeah, so if a movie has jump scares, especially, I'm not watching it. But if it's like a thriller horror, I'm okay with it. So, but anyways, my pick is Dune Part Two but I could see either Emilia Perez or Nosferatu getting a run for its money.
Okay. Dune Part 2 was an amazing movie. I
Definitely was,
went to
especially
see it in the theaters twice. It was really
all right.
good.
So you picking Nosferatu?
Yes.
All right, I got Dune. Next up, costume design. We have A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. And oh my god, I got two choices, two options who I think should win this.
Can I go
And
first for this one
yes,
real quick?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, although I would love to see Nosferatu, and I have a strong feeling I would put my money on Nosferatu, but at the same time, I feel like Wicked might take this one as far as costume design.
No, I think Wicked might win a different award, and I'll tell you what it is once we get to that category. But
Mhm.
I do personally think Gladiator 2 should win this, but I can see why it might not. Like, we all know what kind of outfits they were going to wear because of the kind of movie it was.
Yeah.
So I would not be shocked if Nosferatu also wins this or Wicked, but I might shift my gear to Nosferatu for this one.
Yeah. Nosferatu was, and the reason why I'm saying Nosferatu, like obvious for obvious reasons, of course, but reason why I would say maybe Wicked is because they had more of a range. You know,
Yeah,
they had more of a range. Like there's this,
yeah.
like everyone was
And
stuck in this
plus,
society, and then
yeah.
like everyone,
And wasn't in Nosferatu, I think the movie looked like it was black and white and slight yellowish from the fire. So that makes it harder to see maybe the details on the costumes, but that's just the kind of movie it was. And it is a nominee, so I'm gonna think Nosferatu could win this with Gladiator 2 as a sleeper. Because Conclave, they all wore the same things, and A Complete Unknown, they wore 60s outfits, which they were nice outfits for the movie. But I think Nosferatu or Gladiator 2 should win this one.
okay. Good question.
Yeah.
Is there like a movie that you think should have replaced one of them?
If I do think so, I could definitely tell you on the side after this podcast because this will take me a little while to think.
Oh, okay. I would say like maybe I don't really know a movie that I would choose, but I would take out the complete unknown.
I kind of agree. I kind of agree. And what would you replace that with if you
Like I
knew?
said, I have no clue just yet. I haven't thought of that, but I was just thinking like, how is that on there?
It has its reasons. Let's move on. All right. Best directing. Again, this is a movie where Dennis, I can't say his last name, but the director of Dune Part 2 was snubbed from. But with Honora, we have The Brutalist, Brady Corbett. I'm sorry, Honora was Sean Baker. The Brutalist was Brady Corbett or Corbett, can't, whatever. Yeah, respectfully. A, com- a complete,
Corbet, Corbet.
yeah, a complete unknown again. James Mangold, Millie Perez again with Jaquez Adyard, and The Substance with Coralie Fargate. I, I mean, this one's a little tough for me. A little tough. I won't be surprised if Millie Perez wins this, but I do think The Substance should win this because that movie was crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, I have not seen The Substance. Uh,
Yet.
yet, not yet. But I would probably go for the complete unknown as far as directing is concerned. But I'm not gonna lie. The movie I kind of had my heart set on as far as directing, I'd probably would go with Twisters, even though it's not on here.
Okay, that's interesting.
Twisters was a great
Interesting.
movie.
Alright, well, I got The Substance, and you're picking A Complete Unknown, correct?
Yes.
All right. Got Best Documentary Feature Film. Again, this is one of those categories where I pick a random name. We got Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Forest Lane War. I might have said that wrong. Soundtrack to a Coupe d'Etat and Sugarcane. I am as a random name. I picked magic candies before. Now I'm picking again another candy related name. I'm picking sugar cane, and the nominees are to be determined. So the nominees are not been known yet for this, but I'm picking this as a random winner myself.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one because I don't watch too many documentaries. At least not. I haven't seen any of the documentaries that are up for nominations, so it's not.
Funny you should say that because after this we have best documentary short film. So the nominees are Death by Numbers, which sounds wow. We have I Am Ready, Warden, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra, which sounds sad. So I'm picking as a random name for this. I'm picking just because it sounds creepy. Death by Numbers for whatever reason.
I would choose the I'm Ready Warden.
All right, and the best categories that we go through are the ones we don't know of because we spend little time on those. We can move on easily. That's
For
definitely
sure. 2 seconds.
film editing. There we go. Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave again, Emilia Perez, and Wicked. For film editing, I have to put either. I mean, not either. I mean, I was gonna put Nora because that sounds like a movie that could win this, but I'm gonna have to put probably Emilia Perez or Wicked for this one.
I was going with Wicked on this one. As far as editing,
Yeah,
I was
but
going with Wicked on this one
just
for
don't be
obvious reasons.
shocked. Just don't be shocked if Emilia Perez wins this for whatever reason because it's a musical, and you know with musicals they're hard to edit and they're hard to make great out of. So I could see this musical movie winning a film editing category award. So I choose Emilia Perez. You choose Wicked, right?
Yes, correct.
And Conclave or The Brutalist could win some of these awards. We're just probably wrong and just don't know yet.
Yeah, we could be.
Okay, this is the tougher one. International feature film. We have Brazil, I'm Still Here, Denmark, The Girl with the Needle, France, there we go, Emilia Perez, Germany, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, or Latvia, Flow. And just for the sake of the amount of nominations it got, actually, no, screw that. I'm gonna pick only because of Brazil. I'm Still Here.
I was gonna pick the same thing. I was gonna pick Brazil. Um, I honestly I haven't seen any of them. Uh, as far as the international featured, I
Right.
haven't seen any of them. But
Well,
I'm gonna go with Brazil on this one.
yeah, because Brazil, that's a place that's on my bucket list. That's one reason why I think
It's
I'm Still
amazing.
Here.
It's
And it
amazing. It's
has
hot there too, but
and it has Fernando Torres, who is a first-time Oscar nominee, also Emilia Perez, but that's a sleeper.
okay.
Makeup, makeup and hairstyling, a different man with special stand. We have Emilia Perez again, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. I do see a different man, or again Wicked, winning this, but I do hope it's a different man for this one.
I
A
might have
different
to
man.
go with I might battle between Wicked and Nosferatu as far as the
Okay.
makeup and hairstyling because if you've seen Nosferatu, you know, but
I
Wicked
believe you.
actually same for both movies. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, I remember I remember seeing a video on how they did the makeup
Right.
back then for
Right.
what was it called? Wizard of Oz. I almost said Fairly Odd Parents. Wizard of Oz.
That's close.
um,
All
Wizard of
right.
Oz.
Yeah.
I remember seeing how they did makeup then and the progression it's come to
Right.
now. You know what I mean? So
Right.
maybe I could be wrong. I could be way off when I say this, but I feel like some people voting on that may put that into consideration when it
Hmm.
comes to choosing Wicked. So that's why I'd say, Wicked would probably have a good chance of winning this
Yeah.
category.
I believe
You know,
that. I'm
yeah.
just
So
saying. I'm just saying. I won't be surprised if a different man wins this because the movie was definitely different. The
yes,
makeup, whether it was fake or real, there was definitely Most of it was fake makeup, but I could see Different Man winning this with Wicked a close second because that movie was definitely filled with makeup and hairstyles. Music, original score, again, a film that Dune Part 2 is not nominated for, which is ridiculous. Or, what pisses me off more, me and Abner are both pissed off how Challengers is not in this because Challengers won a Golden Globe for Best Original Score, for Best Score. But instead, we have The Brutalist again, Conclave again, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. I'm not gonna lie, this is a close tie. But well, I hope between Wicked and the Wild Robot. Although Emilia Perez could win this, but this is very close between Wicked and the Wild Robot for me.
Might have to go Wicked on this one for the
So,
score.
so
Might have to do.
you're so you're
Reason
basically
being, reason being is because when Wicked came out, the songs were everywhere. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like they were all over social media,
even the radio,
everywhere. Yes, and so um, that might just have to be, at least for me, the obvious reason for me
right?
for
Respectfully.
choosing the musical. Yeah.
Well, I do hope the Wild Robot wins this, but I don't think that movie is. I don't think the scale of it is as big enough than Wicked or Miller Perez to win this award. Just the size of the scale of the kind of movie that it is, being animation. But I do hope the Wild Robot wins Best Original Score.
Can you look something up real quick? What's the
I
Rotten
can.
Tomatoes for Wild Robot? Do you know?
So it's definitely the 90s or the high 80s, but I can definitely check a few after this podcast for the sake of the time.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Definitely. Next up, music original song. So we have El Mal from Emilia Perez, The Journey, Like a Bird from Sing Sing. I'm sorry, The Journey was from the 688. We have Am I or Mi Camino from Emilia Perez again, and Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late. And just for the sake of the amount of nominations it has, I do hope it's not an Emilia Perez music, but there's two songs from a movie in here, so I could definitely see either El Mal or Mi Camino winning Best Original
Me,
Song.
I was gonna go with Never Too Late.
Good choice.
I was
Good
gonna go with
choice.
Never Too Late on this one.
Best Picture, one of the biggest categories in the Oscars. Nora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here. And there's a lot more to go because it's that big of a category. I believe Best Picture is the final category. Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. This is one of the toughest choices I've ever had to make. But if
You want to
Dune
say
Part
the same answer at the same time? See if we got
no
it.
no, it's gonna sound different.
You sure?
But on the count of three,
All right, one, two,
2, 3,
three. Dune Part
Dune
Two.
Part 2. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I do think Dune Part 2 is the obvious winner in my opinion, but just to piss us off, I can see Emilia Perez. I can see this, not the substance. Emilia Perez. I can see A Complete Unknown, and I can see Wicked winning this with the Brutalist being a sleeper. But I do think Dune Part 2 or Wicked should win Best Picture only because of the sake of the box office.
All right,
So
I
you're
can
choosing Dune
see that.
Part 2
I
as your
see that.
final choice, right?
Yeah, final choice. Dune Part Two.
No other close second.
Nope. Dune Part Two. Like I
Okay.
said, for how long was that movie? 3, 4 hours?
It was like about 2 hours and 40-ish minutes, I think.
Yeah, so 3 hours.
Any movie almost three
I
hours
seen it
long.
twice, man, and it was late at night, bro.
Hmm.
The sacrifices. I'm going with Dune Part Two.
Dude, let me tell you, any movie that's almost 3 hours long, you know it's gonna be either really great or really bad. Like the second movie of Gladiator 2, that movie was almost 3 hours long also, and there's always pressure on generational sequels to do amazing. Glider 2 to me earned a B minus grade, and that should be one of the best picture nominees still, only because it's a very generational movie. Dune Part 2 is almost 3 hours long as well, I think, and there's a lot of pressure trying to make this movie great, with Dune Part 3 coming out, I believe, next year or two. But yes, Dune Part 2, for the sake of the cinematography, the music, and the acting, one of the biggest films of the year. I do think Dune Part 2 should win this, with Wicked being a close second.
I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed Gladiator too.
No,
I
me
really
too, but
enjoyed that movie.
me too. But there were some scenes that were dragging a little bit.
I guess, yeah, in a way.
Best, oh, this is where Wicked comes in place. Best production design, meaning like the set design, The
But
Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Without a doubt, if Wicked does not win production design, I'm not watching his Oscars anymore. Wicked, the set design, it was nothing about it was CGI. It was all created and all made, which made the movie even more incredible to watch.
I have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. But Nosferatu, or yeah, Dune Part 2 took place in a desert. Nosferatu could win this one as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I would agree with you on Wicked for winning the production
Yes,
design.
thank you. That makes the most sense. Live action, we're almost done. Live action short film, a Alien, not Alien, but or maybe a Alien. We have Anua or Anuja, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, and The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. Again, movies I've not heard of even or seen. So in a category where I'm picking a random name, I- the fact that, not the fact that, but I'm gonna pick I'm Not a Robot just for whatever reason. If it wins, it wins. Great. If not, another respectful nominee wins it.
I'd go for The Last Ranger on this one.
All right.
I've not seen any of the short films. Maybe we should step our game up and
Yeah,
at
for
least
sure.
dive into some short films
Well,
for
we're not ever working, definitely.
yeah, of course.
But I'm just gonna pick I'm Not a Robot for just as a random name. That's no disrespect to these names. I'm sure they're all amazing and reason why they're nominated. But I'm picking just I'm Not a Robot because I'm human. I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
All right. Sound, A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, again, Emily Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Just it's not best original score, best original music. It's sound, and for sound specifically, I'm picking Dune Part 2. For sound specifically,
Yep. I'm
also
doing the same thing. Sound Dune Part 2.
you have no close second because my close second is honestly Emilia Perez.
As far as sound, like
Yeah.
I would just go for Dune Part 2.
All right.
Not maybe Nosferatu,
Well,
but
that's not
it's not even
that's not
yeah.
my nominee, right?
Yeah, it's not even on there, so but
Yeah. All right.
I'd go for Dune Part 2.
Yeah, Dune Part 2 should win at least one Oscar. I mean, I'll be very disappointed if it doesn't win anything.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't watch it if Dune Part 2 doesn't have at least one Oscar. From because
You
Dune
know what?
Part 2 is another movie that once it came out, it
Mhm.
blew up everywhere. It blew up
Yeah.
everywhere.
You know what's crazy? Josh Brolin said actually that if Dennis, the director, if he's not nominated, because he was nominated for Best Director for Dune Part One, so he said that if he's not nominated for Best Director in Dune Part Two, he's apparently gonna quit acting, and he was nominated for Dune Part Two for Best Director, and he was not. So let's see if Josh Brolin holds up to his
If
his
you
word.
stay business.
Let's see, but yes, Dune Part Two for Best Sound for me and for you too, I believe, right?
Yes.
Now we're almost done, nearing towards the end. Visual effects. Ooh, forget we got new nominees finally. Alien Romulus and good God, that movie was my first horror movie that I've seen in my life, and I loved it. We have Better Man, we have Dune Part Two, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. I am definitely picking Alien Romulus. That movie was great. I love the visuals. I love everything about this movie, especially the slight. This is jump scares too. and I hate jump scares, but just the hype around this movie and seeing the previous Alien movies, I had to watch this movie in IMAX, and I was with you, and
Yeah,
I jumped for some scenes, but I love it. I loved it still.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this could go anywhere. Like
That's true.
I feel like for visual effects, it can go anywhere because we've never had like well, not that I know of. I've never personally seen like another biopic using like a CGI animal instead of the actual person.
Right. No,
You
do you
know
know
what I mean?
why? Do you know why actually?
Why?
He described the main actor, Robbie Williams.
Yes.
He described himself as a performance monkey.
Mm,
So I
that
guess
makes
they just took. I guess to do a little spin off of that, they turned him into a monkey, which was weird because seeing this trailer, it really reminded me of the movie Cats. If you know, if you've seen
okay.
it,
I
and
haven't seen it, but I know of it.
me neither. No, Cats I've heard was really bad. The visuals were just disturbing, but Better Man could win visual effects as well because there's concerts, there's the audience, there's everything about this movie. It's great visuals to be a great musical movie, but I do hope Alien Romulus wins best visual
Yeah,
effects.
it was a great movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was actually the first and only Aliens movie I've ever seen. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's crazy me saying that because I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love horror movies. Like, I grew up watching horror movies, horror films.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So who do you pick for to win best visual effects?
I was thinking between Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes or Alien Romulus,
Mhm.
but I'm leaning towards Alien.
Also the same as me.
Yeah,
Then as a close second, I don't know if Dune should win this one, even though it's a nominee. Dune should win in other categories, so I'm gonna pick Better Man as a close second for best visual effects.
yeah.
Wicked could be a sleeper, but my first choice is Alien Romulus, and second choice is Better Man. Like, when I say Better Man, I keep thinking of that movie A Different Man with Sebastian Stan, but that's not it at all. All right, let's
Yeah.
move on to now. I think it's the last two or last three awards. Best Writing Adapted Screenplay: A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emily Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. I I'm gonna say I'm gonna take out Emily Perez. I'm gonna take out Sing Sing. I'm gonna pick either A Complete Unknown or Nickel Boys to win this one.
So if I'm giving my honest opinion, which we have been doing, but the last two, Nickel Boys, Sing Sing, have not seen them,
Hmm.
and so I
Yet,
can't
not yet.
say, but I would go for a complete unknown for this one.
I'm pretty
I would,
sure if we saw the other movies, our choices to win would be much different, probably.
world may never know.
Right? But yes, I do pick A Complete Unknown, only because I know what kind of movie it is. It's a biopic. Best Writing Screenplay. All right. Last award. Best Writing Original Screenplay. For this one, we're only going to pick our answers with very little details for sake of time. Honora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5th, a movie that I want to see, and The Substance. For best writing, I'm going to pick September 5th, original screenplay, September 5th. It's hard to explain what it's about, but I saw the trailer for it. I do plan to see it, but because it's that kind of movie, I can't really explain it. But I pick September 5th to win best writing, original screenplay.
I remember seeing the trailer as well. That I would pick that. I remember seeing the trailer. That was if I remember correctly. Actually, let me see if I do remember. Was it the It was like a newscaster, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
During the
there was something
Olympics.
going on, and then they wanted to film. Yeah,
Right.
I choose September 5th as far as writing.
Also,
Yeah, I
all
might
right,
have to go to women's and choose that.
all right. Well, the audience for watching, listening, for the sake of the time, I do have to end this quickly, but we have just enough time to get to all the awards. I hope you guys do agree or disagree. If you disagree, comment below who you think should have won in which category. Um, stay tuned for episode 6. That will happen hopefully next weekend, and or whenever it's gonna be. You guys will be notified. This has been episode 5 with me as your host, Entertain Today, and with me and Malik. We had a great time talking about the Oscars. The Oscars premiere on ABC March 2nd at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, which I hope should be an award show that Emilio Perez does not sweep. Because if that movie sweeps the award show, I will be so pissed off. It's a musical, and musicals shouldn't sweep Oscars unless it's Wicked. Okay, my name is Jeremy Kaziva. I'm your host. I'm here with Malik. Oscars March 2nd. Stay tuned for episode 6 sometime next week. Good night, everyone.
All right. See you later.
Yep, peace out.